When you stop and think about it, the animal kingdom is just wild. I mean, why is every single creature so different from the next? Well, today we're going to dive right into that. We're exploring the amazing world of animal survival to figure it all out.
I mean, really think about it. Why does a fish have scales and a bird have feathers? It seems so basic, right? But that simple question, it unlocks this incredible story about life, evolution, and how everything is perfectly designed to survive. Why doesn't a fish have feathers? Why can't a bird just, breathe underwater? It all comes down to one thing, fitting into your world. All right, first up, let's talk about this world of difference. We're going to explore just how mind-bogglingly varied the animal kingdom really is. We're talking everything from their shapes and sizes to the way they get around. Okay, let's start with the most obvious thing, size. It's just a huge range, right? On one end, you've got absolute giants, like the giraffe, just towering over the savanna. And then, way down on the other end, you've got these tiny little guys, like a field mouse or sparrow, small enough you could hold them in your hand. This massive difference in size, that's our first big clue about just how diverse life on this planet is. But here's something really cool. You can actually break down animal bodies into simple shapes. Think about it. A snake is basically a long, thin line, right? Perfectly designed for slithering. A fish, it's all flattened and pointed, ideal for slicing through the water. A mouse has that classic teardrop shape. And if you really look at a giraffe, its body kind of makes a triangle. These shapes are not random. Nope, they're like the blueprints for how that animal lives its life. And of course, those shapes are totally connected to how these animals move. Giraffes use those super long legs to stride across the grasslands. Sparrows have wings to own the sky. Fish use their fins to just effortlessly navigate the water. And snakes? Who needs limbs? Their entire body is basically an engine built for slithering. It's not just about the body plan either. What's on the outside is just as important. Think of it like they're all wearing different outfits. These body coverings are like a custom suit of armor or a high-tech tool. You've got mammals, like mice, covered in hair to stay warm. Birds, like sparrows, have feathers, amazing for both flight and insulation. And then you have reptiles and fish, all covered in scales for top-notch protection. And sometimes you come across a feature that is just, wow, mind-blowing. Case in point, the chameleon. Did you know its tongue can be as long as its entire body? It just shoots out to snag its dinner. I mean, that's a real-life superpower right there. Okay, so we've got all this incredible variety, right? Different sizes, crazy shapes, unique body parts. But this all brings us back to the big question, why? What's the point of all these differences? The answer is actually pretty simple. It's one word, habitat. It all boils down to where an animal lives. And this, right here, is where it all clicks into place. An animal's body, it's not just some random collection of parts. No way. It's a perfectly designed toolkit, custom-built for its home. So, what do we mean by habitat? Let's break it down. A habitat is just the natural home or environment for any living thing. It's where an animal finds its food, its water, its shelter. It's the world it was made for. And man, are these homes different from each other. You've got the huge, open grasslands where you'll find zebras and lions. You've got thick, dense forests packed with monkeys and birds. Then there are the rivers, the perfect spot for crocodiles and hippos. And of course, the massive open sea, ruled by whales and sharks. Every single one of these places has its own rulebook for survival. So here's the key takeaway. Animals don't just happen to live in these places. They are physically adapted to them. Every single part of their body has been fine-tuned over millions of years to give them a survival edge right there, in that specific environment. Let's check out some examples in action. A duck's webbed feet? Those aren't just feet, they're built-in paddles, perfect for cruising through the water. A fish's fins and gills? That's the essential gear you need to live and breathe underwater. And that super long neck on a giraffe? It's the ultimate tool for grabbing those tasty leaves at the tops of trees, way out of reach for everyone else. Now, one of the absolutely coolest adaptations has got to be camouflage. Seriously, it's the art of hiding in plain sight. It's a superpower that works both ways. You can use it for offense to sneak up on your next meal, or for defense to make sure you don't become the next meal. Want a perfect example? Look at a lion. That sandy-colored fur isn't just for looks. It's the exact same color as the dry grasslands where it hunts. This makes the lion practically invisible when it's stalking prey. It's a perfect, seamless match between the animal and its home. But sometimes adaptations are totally not what you'd expect. Get this, we all think of polar bears as being white, right? Well, their fur is actually colorless and hollow. And what's underneath all that fur? Their skin is jet black. The whole setup works like a super efficient solar panel, soaking up the sun's warmth to keep the bear from freezing in the Arctic. How amazing is that? Okay, so physical adaptations are obviously a huge deal. But there's another piece to the survival puzzle: shelter. It doesn't matter who you are in the animal kingdom, you need a safe place to call home. So, why is shelter so important? Well, it boils down to three main reasons. Number one, protection from bad weather. Rain, snow, blazing sun. Number two, it's a place to hide from things that want to eat you. And number three, it's a safe spot to raise your young. And when it comes to shelters, you can basically group them into three types. First, you've got your found shelters. Think of an owl just finding a nice hollow tree and moving in. Easy. Then you have made shelters, animals that build their own homes, like a crazy complex termite mound. And finally, there are the man-made ones, like stables for horses or a cage for a pet bird. And this is where we get into the incredible architecture of the animal world. I mean, when you really look at the homes animals build, you're not just seeing a nest or a burrow. You're seeing these amazing feats of engineering designed by nature's best architects. We can actually boil all this building down to two basic types of structures. First, you've got frame structures. Think of the wooden frame of a house, or even your own skeleton. It's made of lots of rigid parts all joined together. The other type is a shell structure. This is something that has a curved shape, is hollow inside, and has a really strong outer layer. An eggshell is a perfect example. Let's put some real-world examples to that. A spider's web? That's a classic frame structure. It's a whole framework of silk threads. A rabbit hutch that someone builds is also a frame. Now for shell structures, a bird's nest is a great example. It's woven into a strong hollow cup. And of course, a snail's shell is the ultimate portable home, a perfect shell structure that's strong, curved, and super protective. So what are they building all this stuff with? Well, the materials are just as varied as the animals. A lot of them just use what's around: twigs, mud, leaves, you name it. Then you have animals that make their own materials, like spiders spinning silk. How cool is that? Some are even expert mixers, like termites who combine soil with their own saliva to make a kind of super concrete. And then, of course, there's us humans, with our wood, bricks, and metal. So when you put it all together, from the very shape of their bodies to the homes they build, it's clear that animals are absolute masters of design. And it's all for one reason: survival. Which kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. Animals build structures to survive in their world. So, what about us? When you look around at the world we've built, our houses, our cities, all of it, what does that say about what we need to survive? What does it say about how we've adapted to our own very unique habitat?